Devolver Digital are no strangers to the wild and the wacky. In fact, their entire roster suggests that they have an aversion to anything but. Roll 7, on the other hand, made their mark with a phenomenally successful but relatively straight-laced Ollie Ollie. So their latest game does really feel like it's come from slightly left field. Not that that's a bad thing, of course, far from it. Actually, it's genuinely refreshing. Not a Hero gets a lot of things right, and we thoroughly enjoyed spending our time with it. You're trying to get a time-travelling bunny rabbit elected as Mayor of Britain before the world ends due to a nuclear explosion. And to do that, you need to take part in a series of missions that involve killing lots of people and doing tons of crazy stuff. Like killing mob bosses or turning on massive self-promoting billboards. Bunnylord has a rather warped sense of humour. He's like Max for the freelance police, though he's not quite as demented. But the anthropomorphic is gaining the attention of the people, and in order to keep his candidacy hopes alive, he needs to keep impressing by building an effective PR campaign. Which is where you come in. Choosing from a group of his mates, each one with differing skills and abilities, you must fulfill a series of objectives in each mission, making effective use of timing, power-ups, and sometimes cover, in order to get yourself to the bunny wagon or the bunny copter at the end and move on to the next mission. For instance, Steve is very effective at slide tackles, accuracy, and good range, whereas Cletus, he's more of a brawler and can shoot to interrupt enemy reloads and gain more critical damage. Mission objectives vary wildly and can see you having to kill every enemy in an area, complete the mission in X amount of time, collect a series of collectibles within a mission, or even perform a certain amount of skills without being hurt. Not a Hero is a fast-paced, frantic, and very entertaining game, and as soon as you learn that the cover mechanic is a bit of a decoy and not really that effective in the game, you'll be diving headfirst into the fray, caring very little for the carnage left in your destructive wake. And you'll relish in it, time after time. One unusual feature of Not a Hero is that the game has randomly generated sentences. For instance, if you complete one mission, Bunnylord may gush over you and want to touch your brain. But if you replay the same mission, he may say the exact same thing about your elbows. Same goes for mission objectives. One minute you're detonating a warehouse full of dogs, next it's parrots. The game has no limits on its quirkiness, and that goes for its ensemble cast. Cletus is a sometimes Scottish man, whereas Sammy is a full-on Wet Valley's female commando who calls everyone boyo and wants to go tidy up. In total, there are 9 characters, and you'll unlock more as Bunnylord's approval rating goes up and he gains members in his exclusive fan club. Missions will take place in marijuana factories, on rooftops, and even in plush offices. There's nowhere Bunny won't make you go to try and clean up the streets and win him an election. He'll probably be drinking a wombat milkshake with chocolate sprinkles and a bit of manatee in it while he's watching you do it. And maybe have a dead fox wrapped around his shoulders, just because. Characters also have extra power-ups like grenades and power bullets to use against their enemies to make it through them much easier. The game is pretty simplistic, but it can be a real joy to play. It's mindless entertainment with an achievable yet challenging difficulty curve for true completionists. Hearing your character scream, "Reload, you muppet," to themselves, or "I'm not in Swansea anymore," when entering a new mission area, you know this is going to be a game that walks a little bit on the wild side. Depending on how many objectives you fulfill at the end of each mission, you get a bunny grade in. Max all of these out for additional approval and extra bonuses, and you'll also get treated to breakfast by Bunny, though you have to sit through the agonisingly slow text crawl to find out what he thinks of your progress. So for future expansion and development for Not a Hero, we don't really see much of anything happening. We may get a sequel at some point, likely dependent on how well the game does sales-wise, but I don't imagine you'll see any DLC anytime soon. I have to say it's really disappointing that the Vita port has been completely cancelled, as honestly this feels much more like a handheld game. As for patches, we didn't really encounter any major game-breaking issues, except for occasional slowdown when the action got a bit hot and heavy, or when the rat wagon was ready to take us away at the end of the mission. But all in all, the release build of Not a Hero on PS4 is very solid and very complete. The good stuff, it's fast-paced, old-school, run-and-gun fun. The humour has a real quirky, wicked streak to it, and all characters are varied and enjoyable in their own way. The bad stuff, it can get repetitive quite quickly, so is better played in short blasts. The cover mechanic almost feels a bit superfluous, and text scroll on cutscenes is just slightly too slow. Final analysis, it can get a bit repetitive. Not a Hero is still an entertaining romp with constant engaging action. It will keep you smiling throughout with its audacious humour and off-the-wall back-crap insane mission objectives that you will simply not be able to resist partaking in. Thanks for watching. We're going to leave you a bit more PS4 footage of the game. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe below, and we'll see you next time.
Back off! 60 seconds, let's pile! Nailed it! Running dry! Don't stop fighting! Yeah! Let's go! I'm not